Good morning. Welcome to the Wichita Police Department Interwatch midweek, Wednesday, April 4th. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. Several items that we're going to cover today in today's Interwatch. Give a briefing on the aggravated battery firearms that occurred in the 2800 block of East 24th yesterday evening, and also the aggravated battery firearms that occurred in the 2800 block of East Terry also last evening. I will give out the identity of the fatality victim, vehicular fatality victim that occurred yesterday around Tyler and Yosemite. Then I have several special guests with us from our partners from Via Christi, and also Officer Andrew Gonzalez, who is going to be recognized by Via Christi from Via Christi today due to some quick actions he did on a call back in February. So let's get right to it today. First case number is 18C21004. Again, it's an aggravated battery firearms in the 2800 block of East 24th Street North. Occurred approximately 6:15 last evening. On Tuesday, April 3rd, at approximately 6:15, officers responded to a shooting call in the 2800 block of East 24th Street North. When they arrived, they made contact with a 54-year-old female who had minor injury to one of her shins. Through the investigation, it was learned of gunfire being exchanged between a small dark SUV and an older model four-door car. Multiple homes were struck by gunfire occupied by individuals ranging from the age of 13 to 85. Fortunately, there were no other injuries other than the minor injury to the 54-year-old female who appears to have been struck by debris after a bullet entered her home. We are asking for the community's help in this case. If you have any additional information, please call Crime Stoppers at 267-2111 or detectives at 268-4407. I do not have any suspect description or suspect information at this time.
So the gunfire was exchanged between two vehicles?
That's what we understand from our investigation so far.
Were the vehicles parked and shooting at each other, or did they just drive by?
Right now, the information I have is that they were just exchanged between two vehicles. All right, second case is the aggravated battery firearms in the 2800 block of East Terry. Case number 21023, 18C 21023. On Tuesday, April 3rd at approximately 8 p.m., officers responded to a shooting call at a residence in the 2800 block of East Terry. Upon arrival, officers located an 18-year-old male who had a gunshot wound to his shoulder, and also a 17-year-old male who had a gunshot wound to his neck. Both of these males were transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Through the investigation, it was learned that the two victims, along with a 20-year-old male and a 15-year-old female, were sitting inside of a 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer when three unknown suspects began shooting at the vehicle. The vehicle sustained multiple gunshots, and the suspects then fled on scene, fled on foot, and got into an older blue Honda Civic or Honda Accord. The suspect descriptions I have right now are just three unknown black males. Again, we continue to ask the community for their assistance. If they have any information regarding this case, please call Crime Stoppers again, 267-2111, or our detectives, 268-4407.
Can you give the time on that again?
8 p.m. last night, approximately.
Can you tell us if is it 4 victims that were there, were they at their residence? I know that they were in the vehicle, but was that their residence or were they just parked there?
They were parked in the vehicle. I'm not sure if they lived at that. It's a quadplex. I'm not sure if they lived at that location or not, but I can look into that for you.
So they were sitting in the car with two other people, you said?
Correct. There's 4 people in the car. There was a 20-year-old male and a 15-year-old female also in the vehicle, along with our 2 victims.
Charlie,
that were struck by gunfire. Go
There's
ahead.
been a lot of activity in this area. Are you guys concerned that this might start to be like a troubled area?
Well, anytime we have a shooting incident, obviously we're concerned as the Wichita Police Department. We work very diligently with our community, our stakeholders, and also our investigators to help solve these crimes. And that's why we're asking today if the community has any information to please share it with us. Again, Crime Stoppers 267-2111, or you can reach our detectives 268-4407.
What was the relation among the people inside the car?
I don't have the relation.
Are drugs suspected?
Drugs? Not that I'm aware of.
The suspects were on foot when they did the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And The victims, again, were both male?
The vote, yeah. There was a 18-year-old male who sustained a gunshot wound to his shoulder and a 17-year-old male who sustained a gunshot wound to his neck. Then there was 2 other victims, but they weren't struck by gunfire, but they were in the vehicle. That was a 20-year-old male and a 15-year-old female.
Who was the driver of that vehicle?
I don't have the information.
Do you have where in the vehicle the 18 and 17-year-old were?
No.
Any idea what their conditions were this morning?
They were non-life-threatening injuries as of yesterday.
Gang ties?
We're still investigating. All right, just an update on the shooting incident / vehicular fatality yesterday at Tyler and Yosemite. Case numbers 20904 and 20899. The victim in that vehicular fatality is identified as Daniel Dalton, D-A-N-I-E-L, Dalton, D-A-L-T-O-N, a 27-year-old male of Wichita.
Do we know how he succumbed to his death? Was it from the car crash, or was there any other?
Again, we're still investigating the case. At this time, I'm just releasing the name of the victim.
Can you say his age again?
27.
And
Was
how
that
is-
accident, was it actually a rollover?
Yes.
And how is our shooting victim?
She sustained non-life-threatening injuries yesterday.
And he was the suspect in that shooting, right?
Yes, he was involved in that disturbance as well, yes.
Have we determined what led up to the gunfire inside the house?
Again, we're still working through the case. All right. Also, today we have a special guest from our partners at Via Christi, Dr. Jim Hahn and others, and Officer Andrew Gonzalez. In February of this year, about 2:30 in the morning, officers went en route on a shooting call in the 700 block of South Main. Officer Andrew Gonzalez was one of the responding officers who located a shooting victim who was incoherent and had gunshot wounds to both of his legs. One of the wounds he identified to be bleeding profusely. Officer Gonzalez acted quickly by locating the source of the bleeding and putting his training and experience into practice. He placed a tourniquet onto the victim's leg, which helped slow the bleeding until the victim could obtain medical treatment from EMS and then the hospital upon arriving there. Officer Gonzalez helped save a life through his heroic actions, and here to recognize Officer Gonzalez and our partners from Via Christi. So I'll invite Dr. Jim Hahn and also Officer Gonzalez to come up and share a few words.